Imagine showing up to work feeling super cute with a new hairstyle, only for your coworker to insult your hair out of nowhere.
Then, when you simply agree with her to keep the peace, she tells you to go to hell and actually tries to get you fired. It sounds like a dramatic scene from a high school movie, but this actually happened to today's poster. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're looking at a crazy story from the Am I the A-hole subreddit, posted by user Siloni. Would you apologize to a toxic coworker just to keep your job? Or would you stand your ground? Let's find out exactly what she did. I am a 25-year-old girl, and I work at a super tiny startup company. And when I say tiny, I really mean it. There are only 5 employees in the entire company, including me. Because our team is so small, getting along with my coworkers hasn't just been easy. It's honestly a strict requirement. You can't exactly hide from anyone when there are only 5 of you in the same room every single day. Luckily, up until now, we've all grown really close. We see each other every day, we joke around, and we even go out to grab drinks or food together after work. It felt like a really safe, chill place to work. I really thought I had found the perfect job. Now let me get into the actual story of how that all fell apart. Late last week, I woke up in a fantastic mood. I decided I wanted to try out a brand new hairstyle for work, so I put my hair into 2 cute braids. I spent a little extra time in the mirror that morning, and honestly, I felt really good about myself. I was happy, confident, and ready to start the day. I arrived at the office early. My coworker, who I'll call Annie, she is 27, was also there. We were the only 2 people scheduled to open the office that morning. I walked in, set my bag down on my desk, and said a cheerful hello. Annie just stared at me for a second. Then out of nowhere, she looked me up and down and said, "Wow, I never realized how thin your hair is." Honestly, when she made that comment, my feelings weren't hurt. I wasn't offended at all. I have always had thin hair. It's just my genetics. It's how I was born. My hairstylist always tells me my hair's thin. My entire mom's side of the family has the exact same hair type. I actually love it because it reminds me of my grandma. So knowing this is just a normal, everyday fact about my body, I didn't take her words as a mean insult. Plus, Annie also has thin hair. It's very noticeable. So I just smiled at her, thinking we were bonding over a shared struggle, and replied playfully, "Yeah, you too, huh? Twins?" Her reaction completely blew my mind. It shocked me so much I almost dropped my coffee mug. Her face turned bright red. She glared at me with pure anger, and she immediately snapped, "Go to hell!" Gasp. I just stood there, totally frozen and confused. I didn't know what just happened. I thought we were having a relatable, friendly girl moment. But she turned around, stormed off, and proceeded to completely ice me out for the rest of our shift. It was so incredibly awkward. Fast forward a few days to today. The vibe in the office has been a total nightmare. Annie has been completely avoiding me like I'm a ghost. If I walk into the break room, she walks out. But it gets worse. She started trying to turn the rest of our tiny office against me. Because we are such a small team, gossip spreads fast. My other coworkers started quietly coming up to my desk, telling me all the awful things Annie was saying behind my back. Then, my heart dropped into my stomach. A coworker warned me that Annie was planning to formally report me to our boss for workplace bullying the second he got back from his vacation. I couldn't believe it. I was the bully? My coworkers are cool. They aren't trying to take sides, and I would never ask them to get involved. This drama is strictly between Annie and me, but the tension in the room is horrible. One of my coworkers pulled me aside today and gently suggested that maybe I should just apologize to Annie to make the drama stop. But I really don't want to. I don't feel bad for anything I did. I didn't insult her. I literally just agreed with her. That's why I'm here. Am I the bad guy in this situation? Should I just swallow my pride and say sorry? Or is there a better way to handle this crazy mess? A lot of people in the comments asked if I tried talking to her. Yes, I tried to speak to Annie one-on-one, 5 different times to fix this. 5 times. But she shot me down every single time. She told me she didn't feel comfortable talking to me without our boss in the room. She was treating me like I was some kind of monster. People also asked if I contacted my boss. Yes, I did. Our boss is the CEO, the HR manager. Everything rolled into one. Once I found out she was going to report me, I sent him one single message on Microsoft Teams just to briefly explain what was happening. He's currently on vacation, and he strictly told us to only call his personal cell phone for absolute emergencies. To me, 2 girls arguing about hair isn't a 911 emergency. I didn't want to ruin his trip. I figured he'd see the message when he logged back in on Thursday night. So knowing a meeting was coming, I started preparing. I wanted to protect myself. I wrote down literally everything. I kept printed documents. I saved the emails, proving I tried to talk to her 5 times. I typed out our exact conversation from that morning, word for word. I even got a written statement from a coworker confirming that Annie was purposely skipping work tasks, leaving early to avoid me, and talking trash about me. I was ready. Update time. It's Friday, and the big meeting finally happened. Let me tell you exactly how it went down. At 1:30 p.m., my boss called Annie and me into his office. He let Annie speak first. She put on this huge, dramatic act. She told him she just tried to start a friendly conversation about hair, and then claimed that I made a super rude, mean comment about her hair thinning, which naturally made her mad. She said her "go to hell" comment was just a tiny slip-up out of sudden anger and that she didn't mean it. Then it was my turn. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just slid the document across the desk that had our exact conversation typed out. I looked at Annie and calmly explained that I meant absolutely no harm and it was just a giant misunderstanding. My boss read the paper, then handed it to Annie. As soon as she read it, she lost it. She started crying. Like, real, heavy, sobbing tears. She broke down and confessed that she is deeply insecure about her hair because she completely fried it and damaged it with bleach. She said she usually wears heavy extensions to make it look full, but hasn't worn them lately because they are too hard and expensive to keep up with. She cried so hard she had to ask to leave the room to go to the bathroom and fix her makeup. While she was gone, I didn't waste any time. I handed my boss the rest of my proof, the emails, and the coworker's statement. When she finally came back into the office, my boss asked her why she ignored my 5 separate attempts to fix things. She just mumbled that she wasn't comfortable being alone with me. Then he showed her the statement about her skipping work. She tried to deny it, saying she couldn't remember leaving early because she always does her work. My boss ended the meeting by telling her that personal drama shouldn't ever escalate and mess up the workplace. He gave her an official written warning for skipping work, leaving early, and talking badly about a coworker. He told her she could go home early for the day, and she practically sprinted out the door. I felt so relieved. I won, right? The truth came out. Wrong. After she left, my boss asked me to stay behind. The door clicked shut. He looked at me, his face super serious, and said he had been thinking about promoting me to a leadership role. For a split second, I felt a spark of hope. But then he crushed it. He told me he now had major doubts about my potential because I didn't resolve the issue myself before it reached his desk. Ugh, I was literally in shock. My jaw almost hit the floor. I looked at him and said, "I literally tried 5 separate times to talk to her. I showed you the emails." He just waved his hand and said he wasn't having it. He told me he already knew I tried, but a true leader would have found a way to break through to her and fix the drama. He told me I wasn't being officially punished, but he was being hard on me because he saw my potential. I just stared at him. Then he told me I could take the rest of the day off too. I walked to my car and just cried. I sat in the driver's seat with my hands on the steering wheel, feeling so completely defeated. I felt so punished for something I didn't even start. I called my boyfriend, practically hyperventilating, and poured my heart out. He was amazing. He didn't just listen, he took action. He told me to pack a bag because he was surprising me with a weekend trip to San Diego to cheer me up and get me out of that negative headspace. We spent Friday soaking up the sun at the beach in La Jolla, listening to the waves. And on Saturday, we went to the Savannah Bananas baseball game at Petco Park. It was so much fun. And it was exactly the mental break I needed. But guys, I am 100% looking for a new job now. I am so deeply frustrated. I had literal proof. I did everything perfectly right, and my boss still blamed me. The job market is really tough right now in my area, but I have to get out of there. Let's see what the Reddit community had to say about this absolute mess of a situation. The first comment from Fun-Sized Momo said, "She can dish it out, but can't take it. You are not the a-hole. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if she conveniently leaves out the part where she insulted your hair first when she reports you." OP replied, "Exactly. We were opening the office alone that day, so no one else heard it. I just hoped she would tell the truth, but she definitely tried to make herself look like the innocent victim in the meeting." Another user named Antheros wrote, "It is absolute garbage that you were punished by your boss, even if it wasn't an official write-up. Annie avoided you. You didn't start it, you didn't insult her, and she escalated it entirely by herself. I would find a new place to work too. Your boss totally failed to understand how hard you tried." OP completely agreed, saying, "Trust me, I am looking for other jobs right now. I am so annoyed that I got lectured when I had literal proof I tried to fix it 5 times. One really smart comment asked, "Did you ask your boss how he would have fixed it? Were you supposed to trap her in a corner to force her to talk?" OP replied, "I didn't think to ask that, but I will now. My mind just went blank because Annie was crying so much. I kind of want to have one more meeting with him just to ask how he would have handled it, because I hate how he made me feel. Honestly, guys, reading this story just makes me so mad for OP. She handled this entire situation like an absolute pro. When you are young and working your first big adult job, it is so scary to stand up for yourself. But OP brought the receipts. She had dates, she had times, she had printed emails, and she had a witness statement. She did everything right. Annie was totally projecting her own insecurities. You cannot just insult someone's appearance, get mad when they agree with you, and then try to get them fired. That is so incredibly toxic. But the absolute worst part of this entire story is the boss. This is terrible management. He had a clear view of who was right and who was wrong. Annie was literally skipping out on her job duties and creating a hostile work environment. Yet, he still found a weird way to blame OP. Just because OP couldn't magically force a grown woman to stop throwing a tantrum. Saying, "I expected better leadership from you," is just a lazy way for a boss to say, "I'm annoyed I had to deal with this." OP's boyfriend is awesome for taking her on that trip, and she is absolutely doing the right thing by polishing up her resume and looking for a new job. Never stay somewhere that doesn't appreciate your hard work and professionalism. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video.